welcome everyone to another episode, another grand and timely episode of Your Spiritual Injection. One of the most productive ways which you can spend your Thursday evening. We're coming to the end of the week where we're all looking forward to the weekend. And it's a time to recalibrate, to get the focus back on you, to really spend some quality time. You know, it's important. I know that many of us have things that we could be doing, but it really is a testament to how much you care for you and how much you think about you, that you can actually set aside, you know, an hour and a half, 90 minutes, you know, out of 24 hours to be able to focus on you. So congratulations for being here. If it's your first time, you are most welcome. You'll find our platform most informative. We're a unique educational platform with an international audience and with an international guest list. This evening is no exception. You can also follow us on our social media platforms. There are excerpts from previous programs, lots of facts and information, things that can really keep you centered and focused and motivated throughout the week. So please make sure you do check out our social media handles at Spiritual Injection. We post regularly, we post daily. We also have a Telegram group in which we share information and also details of other programs that we're running throughout the week. Our social media handles are here. You can see them displayed. Choose a platform of your choice, follow, keep in touch. You have our email, our phone number. Stay in touch with the Spiritual Injection. You're in the right place. This week we are continuing our myself and my partner in progress. I'm not going to say partner in crime, Sister Tara. My partner in progress will be taking you through a superb program this evening. Last week we really rounded off, I would say, the abstract aspect of well-being. We will be circling back and expounding on it to some degree. However, we capped that off last week with a wonderful synopsis, really, of what we've been sharing throughout this new series. And this is one thing that I wanted to bring to mind, or to bring to your attention, before we progress with our program this evening. An organized mind is the perfect environment for creativity. And I think that really, Sister Tara, encapsulates what it is that we were summarizing and bringing to a crescendo last week.
Yes, I totally agree. An organized mind is the perfect environment for creativity. With that being said, again, I want to remind you all to make sure that you're keeping up with your journaling every day. And to kind of go a little further, we had some requests last week for us to do a little bit of vision boarding. So at your request, we have brought someone on just to do that, to have you put a little practical application to some of the things we've been talking about for the past few weeks. Right. So I'll pass it back over to Sister Savina, and she can introduce our first guest.
Excellent, excellent. As Sister Tara said, you know, we aim to please and we aim to deliver, and it's important that we really materialize one of the purposes that this platform, that the host decided to, you know, develop such a platform. We aim to help you visualize and grow and take progressive steps day by day towards the best you, towards the manifestation of your greatest self. And if you ask for it, we will do our very best to deliver it. So today we have a very experienced female by the name of Ayanda. She has managed to develop over 6 figure, just short of 7 figures. I'm gonna round it, Ayanda. 7 figure, okay? A 7 figure hair dynasty, which she will expound upon when I bring her to the platform. And actually, she has used exactly what she has come to impart with you today, visualization, as part of that process. And it's a blueprint that she applies. I was told when I was introduced to Ayanda that everything she has, she said, I was told she has the Mansa Musa touch, not the Midas touch, the Mansa Musa touch. Everything she touches turns to gold. And it's with her, she said that visualization has been a foundational principle to her success. So spiritual injection, let's unmute our mics temporarily. Of course, we'll remember our Zoom etiquette and mute the martyrs, but let's unmute our mics and give our sister Ayanda a warm spiritual injection welcome. Welcome, sister.
Welcome.
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 Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Good evening, everyone. Well, it's evening here in the UK, and I'm based in the UK, so I'm saying good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Okay, thank you for that amazing introduction. So my name is Ayanda, Ayanda Soares, or Ayanda Usubuachi, because I'm married to a Ghanaian, and I am the owner of a brand called House of Hair UK. It's a hair extensions brand. It's a hair extensions empire that I have been building for a few years now. For about 10 years, I would say I've been working on this brand, and I have managed to build it to just shy, like you said, of 7 figures with no business experience, just some passion and a prayer. And my passion for hair extensions, my passion for hair in general. And I've realized recently, as I've stepped away from doing hair, that I have a passion for people. So I've started to kind of change my business model. Although I have the hair salon and I have the business empire, I have now changed it to Ayanda Means Business. And Ayanda Means Business is a program where I'm helping women, or helping anyone in the hair and beauty industry, not just women, to develop their brands and grow it into a multi-million-pound business, or 6-figure business, like I've been able to do for myself. So I'm trying to now give back and teach other people how to do that. I was able to build my company and many other things within my life through the power of manifestation, visualization, and scripting. So those are the 3 things that I have done religiously, and not even realize that I've been doing it, not even realize that I've been making it into an actual ritual, and that I've been doing it annually. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm a mum of 2. I've got twins, and I am a twin myself. And I believe that I manifested, or God granted me through manifestation, my twins, because I always wanted to have 2 children very close in age. And I was talking with one of my friends recently. In fact, I'll go back. I'll tell you how this whole thing came about. So, sorry, I've had an awful cold. So my sister contacts me a few weeks back and says to me, I found your vision board. She now lives in Gambia. And she said, I found your vision board from 2019. She sent me a video, and her voiceover of the video was her laughing and saying, you had wrote on here in 2019 that you wanted to manifest 15,000 a month for your company. And then she starts laughing and says, you are now making around 15,000 a week. And then she laughed and said, vision boards are so funny. I love when we find them. And as a result of that, I got excited and realized this just keeps happening. Now, I'm a strong believer in manifesting, scripting, believing, pushing aside all of those limiting beliefs and just seeing what the universe, what God can actually bring to you. And so I jumped onto my Instagram, I jumped onto my TikTok and just put it out there and was like, guys, like, this is wild. It keeps happening. Should we have another vision board party? So I've had very small vision board parties in the past, just with close friends. And now I've made this a lot more broader, and I've invited people from my social platforms to come and take part in this vision board party. So I've got a small presentation for you. I'm just gonna do a screen share. Here we go. I'm not very technical, but you have to really bear with me.
Oh, it's looking good.
Okay, you can all see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this is me. Ayanda. I own House of Hair UK. It's a hair extensions brand within the UK. And I've been able to grow that business to just under 7 figures. And every step of the way, I have used manifestation and I've used vision boards, visualizing and willing things into my life every step of the way. So we started off as a very small boutique, moved into a larger space where I only had 2 members of staff initially, and now I have 21 members of staff. So my vision that I created now affords 21 members of staff to pay their phone bill. That's how I look at it. So if anyone's messing up in my company, I just say, you can't mess up in my company because other people's phone bills need to be paid. And that's how I like to look at it, is that I've now created this business through my own visualization. My business was just a side hustle. It was only a side hustle, and I worked full time as a social worker. And I'd done hair as a side hustle to pay for things for my wedding. Then I found out I was pregnant and so on. And so I've grown the business in that way. I realized quickly on that in the business that actually I needed to start having hair and actually processing hair and having hair available for my actual customers. And as a result of that, in 2019, the same time that vision board that my sister found, I had actually put lots of images of hair on a vision board and said that I want to actually distribute my own hair. So now I'm sitting in my warehouse space, which is where we actually distribute our hair from, because it can no longer hold in our salon space. It just can't hold in there. There's too much. We've got beauty rooms. We've kicked out the beauticians to put hair in, and it still won't fit. So we have this space down here, and then we've got a first floor just upstairs. So that is actually in my actual vision board, and you'll be able to see it on my social media pages. So I created that brand. Like I said, I'm a mum of 2, and I'm now creating the business Ayanda Means Business. And it's just that, I mean business. So people can support people in all sorts of ways. Me, I like to support people in developing finances. So bringing a residual income into their life, bringing a side hustle into their life, that is my passion. I am not necessarily the person who's going to talk to you about kind of like your spiritual life, or be like supporting you with regards to how you're feeling emotionally. I'm like, girl, let's get your money. When money is no longer a stress, then we can, move on to the other stresses and work on those. And that's me. So Ayanda Means Business is about creating side hustles and turning those side hustles into more, because that's what I had. So I was invited to come onto this platform because I shared my experience with my vision boards in the past, and I've never really shared that. It's always been in my small group. I want to become a public speaker, and I've done multiple events, not on a big platform, and I haven't actually been invited to anything like this. And this is one of my manifestations. This is something that I had willed into my life. So when, the universe, when God calls, you act, right? So I didn't have a presentation in place. I haven't done one of these before. I just told you guys I'm not very good at technical things, and getting this presentation all kind of sorted out. My PA actually done it for me. But I just thought, I'm just going to feel the fear and I'm going to do it anyway, because it is on my vision board as something that I wanted to achieve. So that brings me here today. I just wanted, I know I speak a little bit fast. If I'm going too fast, just kind of like put in the comment section or something for me to slow down. But so I wanted to talk to you guys about the power of vision boards, because I wouldn't say I've studied it or I'm an expert in any kind of way, but I am a representation of a vision board because I've done them since, I would say, 2010, or I've made some kind of scripted notes about what I want to actually achieve, any kind of goals that I've wanted. I've always been writing them down and journaling. And I've been doing that since 2010. So for me, I am the walking testimony to the power of actual vision boards. I don't need to have the documentation behind me, if that makes sense, because I've lived it. And it's such a simple thing for you to do if done correctly, and if you remove all of your limiting beliefs. And us as a community, I'm not sure what community of people you have within the actual group, but what I can see is predominantly Black people. And us as a community, we grew up with a lot of limited beliefs. And when you're creating visualizations and writing your vision boards and scripting, even if you're doing meditations and trying to clear your mind in order to allow information to come in from God or from the universe. We have to be careful of the limiting beliefs that we have. So I wanted to quickly talk to you about the process really of making a vision board. I don't actually have any of my vision boards here because I'm obviously in my workspace, but I did want to talk to you about the process of it. So what is a vision board? It is literally a visual representation of things that you want to achieve in life. If you want to achieve low blood pressure, you might take some pictures of someone with a healthy heart, an image of a healthy heart with the words healthy next to it. If you want to have a holiday home, whatever destination you want that to be in, you might put the location, print that out, or you might cut it out of a magazine. If you want to achieve a certain amount of money a week, you might put that on your vision board, the actual physical amount of money, or you might actually take it a step further and put your bank account. So put your logo of your actual bank account. If you bank with Lloyd's or whatever company it might be that you're banking with, put that logo there, print out an actual statement, remove all of the digits that are there, and then replace that with the digits that you're hoping to see, all the transactions coming into your bank account. Really go deep when it comes to your vision board. I used to play around with my vision board and just stick a few different things on, started to slowly seeing them actually happen. Every time I would find it behind my sofa or somewhere, I'd be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that actually did come to fruition. It's actually passed. So I became more deliberate in what I was putting on my vision board, because another thing, you have to be careful because you will will things into your life that you not necessarily intended for. So I have willed into my life staff members leaving. I'm a bit of a baby and I don't like to fire people. Everyone's got bills, and even if they're a complete pain in the bum, it's hard for me to dismiss people and fire them. And I have willed into my life people leaving. They would just give their notice. The following month after something happened, they will just give their notice. So you have to be careful what you're manifesting into your life because it's extremely powerful. So again, a vision board is a visual representation of the things that you desire in your life. And it can be one particular thing. Your whole board could just be around your health. Your whole board could just be around money, or it could be around your life that you actually want to see. So what is it that you want to bring into your life, whether it's health, well-being, money, children, marriage, holiday, cars, whatever it might be. You can make a collage and just have everything on your actual vision board. It doesn't have to be one thing. I like quite messy vision boards, and I tend to pack them out with lots of different things. So how I discovered vision boards is my friend used to make us meet up as a girl group, and we would write down, it wasn't vision boards that we would do, but we would write down things that we wanted to achieve in our lives. And then she would put it in this box, and the box was called GNO, Girls Night Out. But the girls' night out was a girls' night in. So we would just meet up. We were in our early 20s, and we would write things down. I want 2 children. I want a husband. I want this. I want whatever. And then we'd look at it in 6 months' time, and then we'd look at it in 12 months' time. So we wouldn't pay much attention to it. We would just know that we've written like a love letter to ourselves of what we want, and then we put it away. And that was when I first realized about scripting and manifestation. It wasn't until I was in a very, very dark place in my life. So I was working as a social worker for at-risk families, and I had experienced 3 back-to-back miscarriages, and I'm married to a Ghanaian. So that was a big deal. The family, everyone was asking, where are these children? Why are these children not coming? And I found myself in a really dark place. But God just has intentions. And I was asked to go and participate in a program which was called Solution Focused Brief Therapy. And I don't know if anyone's heard of that. If anyone's heard of that, then like put it in the chat saying that you've heard of it. Solution Focused Brief Therapy is a form of therapy that only looks at solutions and then associates a feeling with those solutions. So if you are a substance abuser and you want to get off of those drugs, or you want to quit alcohol, what will that look like in the past? What's that going to look like in your future? Sorry. How will it look? How will people feel? How will your friends feel? What will that morning feel like when you wake up? And I had to do an 18-week program focusing solely on solutions. There was no thinking about present. There was no thinking about past. And I realized it was a really powerful tool to manifest. There were so many testimonies of people, family members who would come in, and they would start giving me their testimony because I was a student there. So I would only be sitting on the sideline and writing my information down. And they would be explaining to me how they came in and how powerful this method of manifesting things into your life, associating a feeling with it, the impact it had had on them and how much they transformed their lives completely. That made me dive a little bit deeper into what is this thing of kind of like manifestation, of scripting, of willing things into your life. And I came across vision boards. And as a dyslexic person, visualization is me, right? I'm a creative. Although I was a social worker, that was a complete, I don't know how I managed to be a social worker, write court reports and everything as a dyslexic person, but I managed to do it. But the core of me is a very visual type of person. I'm very creative with my hands, and I like to look at, you know, pretty things and colors, and I'm very artistic. So it led me down the road of vision boards. I shared that with my friends, and I've never looked back. Every single year. So for Christmas, I will normally make a vision board, and then normally around springtime, I would then start putting extra bits. Summertime, springtime, because you change your feelings and everything. So I would then start putting things on my vision board around that time as well. So I spoke briefly a moment ago about how you can create your vision boards, and creating your vision board is so simple, it's so easy, but it's very personal. So if you are wanting anything for a family member, and that's great, you've got good intentions, but I would probably write that in scripting form as opposed to putting that on your vision board. Your vision board is about your subconscious mind yourself. And even if you want, you know, the health of your mother, or you want your partner to then have a residual income of 20,000, you might have to make that a household income of 20,000 as opposed to just your partner, because I find that vision boards are very personal to you. And anytime I put any desires on there that is for somebody else, they might have their own blockages that stops that intention from actually happening. So I feel that when you're doing a vision board, you should keep it very personal to you. It should be what you actually want to achieve. There's multiple ways for you to actually have a vision board. So you can have a notebook. I heard at the beginning of this session that you guys are all journaling, and you might want to go to the back of your journal, and you might want to start printing out really small images and putting them in the back of your journal. It's something that walks with you or sits by your nightstand, however it is that you are, or wherever you're keeping your journal, it's personal to you. And your intentions in the journal is to overcome things, or just a place to express yourself. That's got a lot of powerful emotions attached to that journal if you're using it in the way that I would use my journal. So you might want to create something there. You can cut out from newspapers, you can cut out from magazines. One of the things that I do is I tend to find things on the internet that resonate with me. I grab those images, I put them on a Word document, and then I print out that Word document. And like I said about finding your bank account logo, it's very hard for you to flick through a magazine and see a logo of your bank account. It's really hard for you to flick through a magazine, find the car that you want, the house that you want. Whereas it's quite easy for you to go through a Google search, find that logo, find that house, find the slim body that you want, put your own picture on that actual slim body. It's really easy for you to do all of these creative things. And so I tend to use that. I will go and I will create things on my computer, and then I will stick them on a vision board. So my past vision boards have been books, what I've walked around with. So my normal notebook, I might have a vision board in the very center of it. So when you open it out, it's going to be like, say for instance, it's a book like this. And then when you open it out, your center page covers all of your vision boards, so that it allows you to put more things on there. I've had vision boards that have actually been in a shoebox. And that's why I wrote shoebox here, because I wanted to start gathering different things throughout my months, my weeks, just throughout my life, and putting them within that actual vision board so that it could resonate with me. So I might have put maybe a little bit of sage in there, or maybe a necklace from someone, anything that kind of resonates with you, put it in that little like trinket box. So I had a shoebox, I cut all the different sides, opened it out, stuck all of my visualization in there, taped it back up, and then I put a lid back on top of it. So you can do something like that. Or one of the more popular ones nowadays is to create a vision board and then put it as your screen on your computer or on your mobile phone. That's a really popular one. I see people all the time, and I say, oh, I'm looking at the different pictures. Normally people have pictures of their children, their pets, themselves. And I'm noticing recently that people have like a collage, and I'm assuming that that is their vision board, but they've kept it on their phone so that they can glance at it constantly and get a visual all the time. Or you can have it on a board my vision board party that I'm doing, they're going to be on big A3 boards, and then you'll be able to hang it on your actual wall. I would recommend that you put it in a place that you're going to see it all the time, but you're not going to pay too much attention to it, because you want it to attract your subconscious mind. You don't necessarily want it to just attract you every day where you're obsessing over these different things. You want it to be in a subconscious mind, because anything that you see in a subconscious repetitive way, your mind is going to just believe that it happens, especially if you associate an emotion with it. How am I for time?
You're doing well. You're doing very well. 15 minutes. Okay,
great. So manifesting the outcome of your board. So for me, I learned, I would say a few years ago, the power of associating a feeling with anything that you want to manifest. So if you sit here today and you think of someone that really, really upsets you, and they really piss you off, you start to have a feeling of anger. So that thought turn into a physical feeling of anger. You get butterflies in your stomach, and you're only thinking about it. They're not present in front of you. So your thoughts can turn into actual feelings. So it just goes to show the power of the mind and the body and the connection, in my view. So for me, I feel that it's really important when you're making your vision board, or when you're looking at your vision board, and even though I said to kind of like ignore it most days, you will have times where you come together and you want to ground yourself and you want to take a moment to look at your vision board. It's really important to attach a feeling to it, and that feeling should be happiness. So I would recommend that you kind of take a deep breath, you close your eyes, you might laugh, you might play some music that makes you a little bit happy. You might think of happy times. When you get to that point of being happy, like you might think of yourself on the beach, you might think of something that went really well for you in the past, that led you to have this really nice, warm, cozy, happy feeling while you're doing your actual vision board, or when you're thinking about your vision board. And anytime you think of that board, or you walk past that board and you take a glance of it, if any other emotions come over you, it's so important for you to look at, what is that? Why am I feeling a negativity towards that? Why am I looking at the house that I desire and thinking, oh, well, that will never happen? Why is that happening? Someone said to me yesterday when they were talking to me about the actual vision board, and they said to me, you know, sometimes people can put really like extravagant things on there, like going to the moon. And I was saying it when I was talking to, I can't remember her name, the lady who's in here. And for me, I just think that there is no limitation. There is absolutely no limitation, because tomorrow someone could enroll you in a program that allows you to do astronaut training, and then you're on your way to going to one of the Mars stations or something on your way up to Mars. You never know what the intentions are, what could happen. You could be putting something extreme on there, like children. I want to be able to fly. And that might seem really crazy until someone gives you a hoverboard. And then you're like, hold on, there's a bird. Me and the bird are flying next to each other in this hoverboard. That flying could just be that you learn to actually fly an aeroplane, or you learn to actually fly a helicopter. It's important not to rule anything out, because if you can think it can actually happen. I remember watching something funny that Chris Rock had said in the past about I think it was the Morning Miracle, one of those types of books. And he was saying, what about the starving child in Africa? They're manifesting a burger, are they? And I remember instantly thinking, what if next month someone just meets them and gives them a burger? But why is that wild? Why is that wild for someone who's extremely hungry in a impoverished part of the world to manifest a plate of food? And then, you know, why couldn't I be the person who then goes and gives that person a plate of food because I actually happen to visit that country? Nothing is impossible. If you can think it, you can will it into your life. And if you continue to have limited beliefs around it and attach negativity around it, then it will never happen. And all you'll do is be the person who says it will never happen. You'll be that person who says it doesn't happen because you actually didn't have full intention for it. I hope that I'm making sense.
Perfect.
I'm making sense.
Yes,
but it's so important to attach a feeling of happiness, a feeling of joy. And because of my work that I've done as a social worker, where I done solution-focused brief therapy. And honestly, look up solution-focused brief therapy. Have a look at some of their YouTube videos as well. A lot of people are now adopting this same type of therapeutic approach, but have a look at it and have a look at how in depth they will make you go. If you say that you want to have a 6-bedroom house and they will wake you up that morning in that 6-bedroom house, did you stretch or did you jump straight out of bed? Was there an alarm? Was the sun coming through? What did the curtains look like when the sun come through? When you put your feet down, was it a soft feeling or was it a hard feeling? Who lives in this house with you? Were they happy when they saw you in the morning? What does your toothbrush look like? When I tell you, it is so in depth. Your eyes are closed. You are almost transcending yourself into that place. So therefore, if you attach that feeling and emotion to it, and if it becomes realistic in your subconscious mind, then why is it unrealistic? Does that make sense?
Yes.
I keep asking if that makes sense, because when I talk to my mum about this stuff, she's like, okay. And I'm like, Mum, I know you're not getting it. Okay.
We're getting
So the final thing that I would normally do is I attach gratitude to almost everything that I do, even in my down times, my darkest moments. I had twin babies at 24 weeks plus 5 days. I was told for 3 weeks that these babies were going to die. I was told by a consultant in the hospital, I don't know why the nurses always say to give them a name, because you could do that. You could put any name on a grave, on a tombstone. I just looked at my sister and thought, is this man for real? I've been through some dark times. And even during those dark times, I'm a very, very selfish person, or I was a very selfish person, wasn't very maternal at all, and didn't really like pay much attention to kind of like children or whatever, until God gave me premature babies that needed me every single day. I was lugging around 2 oxygen tanks in a twin pushchair. One was peg fed, couldn't feed through. I had to dedicate my life to these children, these small little babies. And I know that all parents do that, but there's something more grand when it comes to 2 premature babies. You take them outside, they get a whiff of air. The next thing, their lungs are all clogged up. You're back in intensive care. I had to be so intentional. I had to do so much research. I had to plan everything around these actual children. And even in the midst of all of that hardship and what felt like dark time, I somehow knew that it was a learning and a lesson for me. So I attached gratitude to it.
Right.
It was a very, very dark time for me, but it made me more grateful for my children. It made me so grateful for my husband. It made me so grateful for my friends and family, and for the doctors and the nurses and the machines and so much things. It made me so grateful that during my pregnancy, I'd set up this actual salon and had a member of staff in there still making money for me, generating an income. It made me grateful for so much things. So even in your dark moments, try and find the gratitude. When you make your vision boards, try and write down and script in current tense. So you're going to say, I am grateful for my low blood pressure. I'm so grateful I don't have to take those horrible tablets. I don't have to worry day in, day out about what I'm eating. I'm so grateful for, my 20,000 a month in residual income. And the fact that I was able to have a cameraman film it all for me, to run these digital classes or whatever it might be. Always in what it is that you want to achieve, you're going to talk as if you already have it. And if you are a person who's into vision boards, manifestation, visualization, you hear that all the time. But I cannot stress the importance of it enough, because if you start to come from a place of gratitude, the universe just aligns so much gratitude, so much goodness around you. Miserable people attract miserable people. Miserable situations attract miserable situations. You ever just walked outside, seen a parking ticket on your car and just thought, I shouldn't have parked there really? And your day is just fine. Or you walk out and say, oh my God, I cannot cope, another parking ticket. And then all of a sudden your tire busts, you picked up the kids late. It's almost like you attract the stress and the negativity in your life, in everything in your life. Find the gratitude, find the situation, find the learning that you're meant to actually get from it, and you make sure that you write them down. So when you create your vision board, the final thing that I do, all of the different points that I put on there, because as you're making it, you're going to find different things that you didn't actually realize you wanted in your life. Something will attract you. You'll see a sticker somewhere, you'll then take that sticker and you'll attach it to your vision board. You didn't even know that you wanted it. This whole building, or this room that I'm in now, I saw a hair extensionist in the US, and she had all of her salon space down here, and she had these black stairs going up. Do you see these black stairs?
Yeah.
And that was on my vision board. Her business name was on my vision board. Not this, but her business name was on my vision board. So you might find things that you don't even realize that you want, and start writing them down. So if you look at any of my vision boards that are not necessarily in my notebook, something that goes on the wall, on the back of it, it will normally have a list of gratitude. So any of the stickers that I have on there, I will always give thanks for it, and I'll try and associate a feeling around it. And I'll write down that feeling. So I'll be, thank you so much. That has afforded me so much peace. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy. Thank you so much. This has allowed me to retire my mum. This has done this. This has done whatever. So I try to attach an actual feeling to it. I did actually write down somewhere some of the things that I've actually managed to manifest into my life. I don't know if anyone's interested in it, but here we go. Here we go. I feel like I manifested my children into my life. In fact, I know that I did. I felt like there was a learning that came with it, and I manifested my children. I wanted to at the very close in age so that they could play with each other, which is really selfish, but let's be honest. I have manifested almost every member of staff that I work with. And even if they don't work out and we don't have the longevity and we're not, working together years on, I have definitely attracted every single member of staff into my life. Traveling first class and being able to take my mum first class. My mum is a person who, she worked extremely hard, but she worked extremely hard chasing money. Money would come in and it would always go out. She was a single mum with twin girls. I'm a twin, and then I've got an older sister. And life was really hard for my mum. So being able to take her on first class as a surprise, walking onto the airplane, her turning right, and I'm like, no, ma'am, you're going left. That was one of the things that I had actually visualized into my life, and I was able to do it for my mum. Being on the roll to retire my mum. So my sister runs an extremely big company as well. And me and my sister are taking on a lot of my mum's responsibilities, her financial responsibilities, allowing her to just go to work if she feels like it. So she works for my sister's agency. One of the clients, she absolutely loves the client. So she's like, I'm going to do every other Sunday with him and give him support. We're like, if you want to, mum, that's up to you, but you don't have to, because everything is covered. So that was one of my things, is retiring my mum. My entire business, my business growing to where it is now. Like I said, I wanted to earn, at the point when I was earning 52,000 a week, I wanted to earn 15,000 for the month, and now I'm on 15,000 a week, and that is only my salon. That is just my salon. That is not my retail space, and that's not my education academy. So it's beyond that. Becoming a speaker. So I definitely manifested that into my life. I'm a very nervous person, and I tend to ramble on. And the end of last year, I realized that it was on my actual vision board to do some speaking events, and I feel like I attached the energy to it again. And I ended up speaking at a really big show, which is called Salon International. And I was a speaker there, and I've done some kind of like speaking engagements, very small speaking engagements about women in business and turning your side hustle into your full-time income. So I've been able to do it, and I feel like the platforms are growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger. I don't know how many people we've got on today, but I'm going to definitely write that out. How many people do we have today?
3.
94 now.
94 people. What are you lot saying?
And we probably have people also watching us live on Facebook. So
that's incredible. 94 people. I think that's my biggest audience. Okay. And I've been able to generate different streams of income. So I do all of my video content, and I put it on YouTube. And at some points, my high points, I've been able to generate around £2,000 a month of kind of residual income. My YouTube channel is to show clients what work we do, and to show students how me and my teachers would be able to train them to create, hair extensions, transformations. So it's never really about earning money from YouTube. However, I wanted to have multiple streams of income, and my vision board, I wanted to have 5 streams of income, and my vision board has been able to do that for me. I actually have 6 streams of income, I believe. So those are just some of the things that I've manifested into my life. I think it's so important for you guys to take on board what it is that I've said and just try it. It literally takes none of your time. You just print out some things, play some music that makes you feel good, invite some people over if you want to. If you want to have it all very personal, do it very personal. Honestly, just do it and come back to it in 6 months' time. Come back to it in a year's time. But put the intentions behind it. If you feel like anything is blocking you and anything, if you go to grab the picture of that beautiful house with a swimming pool and a car outside, and then you take your hand off of it, something attracted you to it. Don't block yourself. Pick that picture back up, stick it on your vision board, because you never know what God's universe has aligned for you. So that is all that I had to say with regards to vision boards. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I would love to hear if anyone has any questions.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic.
Yes.
I knew when I was speaking to you yesterday, you know, I knew that you'd bring it, and you brought it. So concise. I can't. You don't ramble at all. Very, very concise. Very informative. Fit the brief perfectly, and then some. So we thank you profusely. As I said in our conversations, it will not be, even before I heard you speak, this won't be the first, you know, the first or the last time, I should say last time that we collaborate. There's many more things that we have in store, and we'll definitely take this and scale this, you know, as far as we can. Sister Tara?
This was so, I think this was so affirming for what we've already been talking about.
That is great. That's brilliant.
So the things that you think about, the things that you say there is so important, and how you talk to yourself. So make sure that you're journaling again and get those vision boards together. What do you want out of life? I think this was awesome. I totally enjoyed it. I do have a couple of questions, but however, I won't ask them. I'll put them on pause for now. But I think we want to share your information, right?
Yeah, well, we must thank Greta, Sister Greta from last week. She was the one that actually recommended that we do on vision boarding.
Yes.
Everyone has benefited. What we will do, we will share your details under your social media handles.
I think I might have it in this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
No, I think she took it off.
Okay.
No, but you can share my social media.
You let me know.
Okay, so it's Ayanda .Soares, which is SOARES, and that's across all platforms. So that's TikTok and Instagram, and I believe LinkedIn as well. I do have a vision board party coming up on the 29th, and I would love to give 2 tickets away to any of your guests if they are London based and they want to come and be around, I think around 36 people we have now, all creating our vision boards, bringing all the positive energy, talking about what it is that we want to bring in, and everyone setting the intentions in the same space. Then it's on Sunday the 29th, and it's based in Queen's Park, London, 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. But I can share the information with yourselves. And if there's 2 people who are based in London available on that day, I'm happy to give away 2 tickets, and you guys can distribute it however you feel.
Oh, thank you.
We'll take you up on the offer. We'll get the details of your party. Is that your capacity, or can we share it?
You can share it. It's on Eventbrite, and it's got 41 spaces available, and I think we've got 36 people that have already come in. It sold out in over a weekend, and then we had to ask the venue to expand the space. And so they've expanded the space for us, so we've got some more spaces available.
Excellent, excellent. Well, spiritual injection, we did have a few questions. However, I do want to honor the time that we said we would keep you on the platform for. Ayanda respects your commitment to what it is that you do and showing up every time. But I say we will follow up. We'll take in fact, we will take all the available spaces. So yes, we will take the 2 complimentary, but we'll also purchase the last 2 spaces.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, I'll send you the link. When we come off of here, I will send you the link for it. That would be amazing.
Excellent. We'll do that. And with spiritual injection, come on, share your appreciation. The messages throughout your presentation have been
thank you so much.
So
I'm
inspiring.
looking forward to seeing all of your vision boards as well. I hope you guys do them, and I hope you manifest everything you want into your lives.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
And you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much. Sister Tara. Okay, so
you know, I love that. That was awesome. We have a whole bunch of responses in the chat. You know, a few people want tickets. So remember that vision board. Look her up on Instagram.